Good morning, Breakfast Club family. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Joe. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic and amazing. I hope by the end of the day I'll be phenomenal.
I see. I hear that your wife thinks you're already phenomenal. That's what I hear. That's the rumor.
Yeah. That's the truth.
And by the way, I did see the voice message you left me, and weren't you the Dapper Dan?
I told you I clean up pretty good.
That's a great picture. You ought to take it. Oh, you do have a snapshot of that. That was really good. Anyway, tell us, we'll get into a couple things here this morning. I definitely want to cover a couple of things here this morning. I want to say that I put in there, something about trust. Do you trust your upline? And I will not get in too deep into that today, but it's really funny because I read something last week and it said, I trust everybody. It's the devil inside them I don't trust. And I think I understand that. And it's because it happens with a lot of people. You think so much about somebody and then you find out, that people are people. They'll do what they're going to do. I like that old, people used to say, people are what they do. And I think it's just the opposite. I think it's people do what they are. And if you think about that, you'll really understand what I mean. People do who they are.
Yep.
Simple as that. And, you don't know somebody. It takes a while to get to know somebody and what they're all about, which is why I never had another person on the Breakfast Club like you for over 15, 16 years. I just didn't, I trusted him. I just didn't trust the devil inside him. So, I wanted to cover a couple things here, but I wanted to read something, and I will see if we can get people in the chat box here to put some answers in. Who do you think said this? I don't know what this means. Let's answer this question from Wayne. Can I access your presentation on Lead Skimmer? And I don't know what that means, but not sure which autoresponder to use. I have Tools Rock. I don't know what that means. Today. Can I access your presentation on Lead Skimmer? Hey, Wayne, you're going to have to call us. I don't get the question. Can I access it on Lead Skimmer? You can't access anything on Lead Skimmer like that. I don't know what that means. Access the presentation. I think what you mean is, if what you mean is, can you use your leads from Lead Skimmer and put it in Tools Rock? The answer is yes, and I'm going to address that today. But I don't know. Why don't you just you got my number from the notice I send out. You just need to call me, and we can have a dialogue so that I get it straight. I don't totally understand the question. So I wanted to read something, Mark, and let's see if people can take a guess on who wrote this. I thought this was also very, very interesting. And it says, the world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. So, world's a dangerous place, not because of the people in it that are evil, but because of the people who do nothing about it. Which tells me that you have a responsibility. If something's wrong, helping a teammate or something's going wrong, it's like this presentation, the business presentation, the AdTech business presentation. It addresses what's wrong. It addresses the people, the problems that people have had over 50 years and probably beyond. Their home problems, meaning their finances, and we teach people how to get their financial house in order, to help them do that. You know, we're not carrot bars here at AdTech Worldwide, and we don't sell gold. And the truth is, neither does Carrot Bars. They have gold as a product. We have gold as a product. You know, but that's not the main topic of the thing. The idea is to help people. And I think even above us, Mark, these people forget this. And that's what I meant about, do you trust them? Because it seems to me that people they get focused on selling gold or selling their product. And the question that Jennifer brought up the other day was, what is it that you want? And it seems to me that people think they want to be a gold salesman. I don't think that's the case. What you really want is, you know, you want to be able to help people get their financial house in order, use gold as that vehicle to get them where they need to go, for sure. You know, teach them to exchange cash for gold. That, if you're going to say that's what we do, we help people change cash for gold. Yeah, that's true. And by doing that, we can help them get their financial house in order, and not just by taking cash that maybe some people say, I don't have that extra cash. There's ways to create it. I've been doing that now for 4 months, finding little ways to save money just to prove that you can save some money, save on some expenses, and turn that into gold. And but you know, that question of, do I really trust the sponsor, the upline, whatever you want to say? I mean, I trust Mark, obviously, but I'm not sure I trust what other people are doing and what they're saying. And because if they're focused on selling gold and continue to hammer at you to you know, make sure you're buying gold every week, I think most people can't do that unless they really get into their household finances and figure out a way to have that extra cash available to do that. So we have to teach people how to get on board properly. That's really what we have to do. That is our mission here, is to let people know that we help you get your financial house in order. We help you see, you know, how you can change the cash for gold, but in what areas can we do that? If you don't really have it freed up, how do you free that money up? And that presentation does that. So Mark had a meeting on Monday night. Was it Monday night, Mark?
Yes, Monday night.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I don't know if you covered that yesterday, but why don't you tell us about that?
I covered it yesterday. Okay. Yeah. But I'll say this too, because I want to add a little something to that, and plus what you're saying. Everything that I do now, I have to go back to our AdTech Worldwide business presentation, because like you just said, everything is in there. And it did prove itself Monday night, which I covered yesterday. But here's the other thing. Like you said, finding that money. You've done some things to find the money. And what it made me think of, Joe, you know, something I came up with, you know, it freed me, you know, a couple $100 a month to put in gold. Now, I don't take care of that particular situation. My girls do. But the point is that if you know, you come up with ideas and you look for things and you find that money that you can now use to put away for your savings and convert it into, you know, from the paper into gold, like you're just saying. And that's another reason why I'm really so happy, because I was able to do that for a couple $100 a month. So, you know, that money will start going into, you know, once the change is done, it'll start going into gold. But the other thing is this, is that I just read, you know, you and I talked about it, and we followed the millennials as well as the baby boomers. Now, something just came about. The millennials aren't saving much money. Some are saving 5%, but the ones between 35 and up, they are starting to save 10% of their income. But here's the challenge. They're saving it the way that they're instructed to save it. 401ks, 503Bs like that, which is paper backed by nothing. And now, so what I'm saying, if you look at our presentation and understand it, we need to get to those people, and they need to see that presentation, and they need to make some adjustments and get at least 50% of that money converted from paper into gold. And what I'm saying is we have that vehicle, we have that knowledge. All we have to do is go to WORK.
Well, you're absolutely right.
And
Speaking of WORK, I noticed the governor is with us again today. I am so happy when I see that name up there.
Yes, indeed. Makes you smile.
It does make me smile, that's for sure. All right, look, let's cover this. You know, this onboarding on 2015. You know, are you getting your people off to the right start? I mean, first of all, did anybody put an answer in there about the come on, nobody did it? Let's try it again. Come on, put your answer in there. See if you know who said this. I guess I can read it, but I pretty much have it memorized. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people in it that are evil, but because of the people who do nothing about it. We have a responsibility, especially in this type of business, to help people. I don't believe that there are many groups here that actually have an onboarding process. I don't believe they have this routine that you can go through to make it, you know, to help that new person see how they can be successful. I haven't seen it anyway. I mean, not like this, not like our instructions in our back office at Tools Rock. I don't see it anywhere. I still get people all the time calling saying, yeah, but they're not doing this, and they don't call me, and I don't call them, and I don't have any contact, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know what presentation to use. I know there's some good websites out there. Lloyd creates some good ones. Unfortunately, there's no autoresponders. I mean, all the time you can get an autoresponder. I mean, get a capture page and all set up with it, but it takes a little bit more. So I wanted to talk about that too, about the word autoresponder. It should be called an invitation letters. That's what they really should be called. I don't like the word autoresponder. It doesn't identify, you can't get the picture by calling it that. So when you see, you know, get an autoresponder set up, I think you should call it getting your invitation letters set up. That's what they are. Automatic letters that go out, and people can respond to them automatically. So Shirley said Ronald Reagan, John F. Kennedy, Kim, the governor, Governor Bennett. People don't know she's the governor that we recruited to the Breakfast Club.
Well, let the governor know, or she'll hear me, that if she wants to, she can connect with me today, and I'll help her with that question she has there.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Sure, Kim. No problem. We shall do it. So, yeah, who said that? Yeah, isn't it interesting? I'll give you a hint. Everybody knows, everybody sees who that is almost every day.
Well, you just gave it away.
I did. And I usually have my camera off because I'm usually drinking that cup of coffee. So I decided to be like, Marco Rubio, drink my drink during the speech.
It's all about thinking, everyone. It's all about thinking.
So,
Joe used to hang out with him.
We'll let you keep putting the answers up there until we get to the end here. So let's talk about the onboarding, because it's really, really important for you to understand. You should have it at the tip of your tongue when somebody says after they're registered. I want to address this again with Jennifer. We have a process of three-way calling called a director's call. Why? Because that director's call should direct the new person, the prospect, to get registered. That's what it's for. It's to give them some information, get a few questions answered, see if we are initially right for each other, and then the answers to, well, how do I do this, or how does that work? The answer to that, well, let's put that up. What do you think the answer is when a three-way is going on and somebody says, well, how do I, how's that compensation plan really work, or how do I get started, or, I've done this before and I really, I don't know what to do. How would I do that? What would your answer be? So we'll get you put that up there as well. We've been through the class. That should be right at the tip of your tongue. So we have to be ready for that. So that director's call is designed to spend 5 minutes. The person introduces the prospect to you as the director, and your goal is to ask a few questions, make sure you are on the same page by asking a couple of questions. Now, not the time, in my opinion, to find out what that person wants. In other words, digging into the whys and wants of their business. That's not the time. So I say that you get them to the registration page. Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Man, I love that lady. Andrea Hanfus. Yeah, you get that in training. Sure, no problem. Let's get you registered. And you know what? You're going to get that answer in our training. We have training every day. We have nighttime training, daytime training. We have lots of videos here, and you'll get that answer then. The important thing is, are we really a match for each other? We're only going to know that if we lock arms together for a period of time and find out if we're really right. If we are, we'll keep going. If we're not, we can shake hands and wish each other well. Does that make sense, Mary? See, that's what should be at the tip of your tongue. Great job, Andrea. Thank you. That's what happens in that director's call. It's not designed right there to find out what their wants are, but your responsibility, if you are the person that brought that prospect to a director call, it's your responsibility after that to continue to guide them, to show them the process. And part of that process is finding out with them what is it they really want. What is it that you're really trying to achieve? And they don't have to tell you. It's kind of good when they do. It's really good when you hold and someone's held responsible, and accountable. But you have to remind them, what is it that you want? Spend time on that and figuring out what you want. That's a motivating factor here in your success. Why are you trying to do this? If it's just, I think I'll give it a try, and so, I just, I've done this before, I haven't really, but yeah, I really don't, probably won't go anywhere with that. But, my kids in college, we don't have enough money, we work part-time also, but this really will help, and I can get my kids. That's a motivating factor. That's something, that's a want, probably a need as well. So I wanted to bring that up, Mark, because Jennifer, there is nobody I know in 22 years in this industry that better connects with a person and a client than Jennifer Ashby. I knew that when I heard her name in Jri. And so what a great teacher. And speaking of teaching, last night was really basic good stuff with Anson Ashby. So be here Friday morning, for Anson to continue on with that education. And again, every Tuesday night. So this onboarding process, Mark, it's so important for everyone to understand, because I think most people get afraid when they bring somebody on. Now what do I do? Because most of the people who aren't really getting it done themselves are going to have a hard time telling the other person what to do. So what do you do? What's the process here? So again, why don't you chat in the box and tell us, what is the process? What's going on? And what would you tell somebody to do? What are the steps to say, here's how we get started? Now that you're registered, here's what we need to do. What would you tell them? Put some steps down there. What would you do? We're not getting a lot of response here. Come on, get in the chat box and chat a little bit. These are the things we should be chatting about. So, first step. What's the first step? Registered, they're registered in the company. What do you want them to do now? They're in, let's say it's Karatbars. What do you want them to do now?
I'm surprised. That's such an easy answer.
Well, it does take a little bit for those answers that come up. Shelly was telling me last night that, you know, sometimes she doesn't even see these chats in the box, you know. Mm-hmm. Yes, Max, call me today. Yeah, okay, so I know that Cynthia works at this as well, but there you go. The answer is yes. Let's get you on board properly, Mary. Here's what we need to do. This is our process. We've got to get you registered, and to understand, you know, you'll get a website with Karatbars. That's not a marketing tool, Mary. That's an educational tool to show you what Karatbars has to offer, and you know, there's some education in there. So always go to that so you can learn more about Karatbars. But the first thing you're going to have to do, what are we doing here in business? Well, we're telling people that we're in business because we're looking for more partners, right? So certainly the way that we do that is through a company called Tools Rock. So I want you to go over here. I want to show this to you. You know, you came here, Mary, because you looked at a website. We have that website through a company called Tools Rock. So I want you to, minimally, I want you to join Tools Rock at the minimum level at least, and so you can get access to websites you can give to people. You can give them to people you know and people you don't know. You must tell people that you are in business, and you must tell prospects what you're looking for. Looking for people who want to learn how to be successful in this industry and with our company. So Tools Rock is the answer. Once they get to Tools Rock, then you guide them to the training room. Unlock the vault, or the vault is the vault is the password to get into the training room. So you teach them to get Tools Rock, log into their Tools Rock site, you know, and go to the training room. It says training, and at the bottom of that drop down it says team training room, and then you type in the word the vault, and now you can really start the process. Now, let me explain this to you. If you're not using a screen share product, you need to do that. It is so important when you're talking to your new affiliate to show them how you get to the office. So I know Mark and I use this all the time with each other. When we're talking on the phone and we don't understand something, either I or Mark says, hey, Joe, go to Mikogo. MIKOGO.com. M like Mary, I-K-O, G like George, O.com. Do not take the free version, because when you do that, it asks you to put all your information in, including your credit card, and in 30 days they will charge you. Unless you want to pay for that, fine. But if you just want to use it for purposes of communicating, kind of like using a screen share on Skype, then you don't need to do that. You just need to click download and download that particular software to use it on a small basis, a couple of people at a time. The reason I tell you Mikogo instead of join.me, you can use that one as well, but Mikogo allows you to switch back and forth on the controls. So if I was talking to Mark, I would say, Mark, I need to show you. He started the program and he's showing me his screen. I said, Mark, now listen, let me show you on my screen. All he has to do is push a button and give me controls, and now I'm presenting on my screen. We don't have to start a new session to do it. That's why I like Mikogo. Now, if you are a Mac user, I know that some people struggle with Mac and Mikogo. I don't know why. Then if that's the case, then use join.me. But you need a screen share tool. It's necessary in today's internet world. So if we're on a call with a new prospect and I say, let me show you something, I can show them and guide them on the screen what they should be looking at in the back office of Tools Rock in the training room. So you guide them to that room, show them what it's like to get registered with Karatbars, or they're already registered. Show them the steps they need to take. There's a checklist in there. There's an affiliate handbook in there. And there are videos in there for them to get familiar with tools, with Karatbars. Part 2 of the training room is setting up their marketing tool, which they just registered for. MIKOGO, Mary, Ice Cream, Kevin, Oscar, George, Oscar. MIKOGO.com. We use Mikogo. That's what we use. That's what I'm familiar with. That's what you want. So, you show them, you can show them that on a screen share. You could help them with part 2, show them why they need this marketing tool. Now they show them how they get registered for Tools Rock. If you show them the back office and show them how to do that, what do you think they're going to do? Going to start working on that particular process, and we have it in writing in there, a step by step. Unlock your custom websites. Plan the categories that you're going to send to, different categories. Read that information in there. Set up the categories, then set up what they call autoresponders. I call set up your invitation letters for the websites that you're going to send them. So when you register for that, when you go in and unlock the sites, decide what categories you're going to send it to. You might be sending it to people who are, you met at church, maybe people cold market, you met at the supermarket. I mean, all kinds of categories. You want to identify where you're sending people to. So, friends and family, that's a category. So when you put the name in and say, I'm going to send Mary Jones, my good friend, a website, might just send one off to them and put it in there, going to send her a website to review. You select the category that she belongs in, which is, call it friends and family. Then later when you go back and say, what's going on with all my friends and family that I sent this website to, you can do a search for that and you'll be able to look at all the people you sent to the friends and family site and see what number letter they're on. That's why you need to set up categories. You can have as many categories as you want. And then you set up the invitation letters, or the what they call autoresponder letters. The letters are already in there. All the invitation letters are in there. Can you change them? You have the ability to do that. I don't think I would do that, but you might. The follow-up letters are attached to the website, so you can't touch those. So that's the way you get them on board initially. Get them into Tools Rock. The next step I would do is I would say, look, are you comfortable making a phone call and calling people up either before they read your information or view it, or afterwards? Are you really comfortable? If I handed you a list right now, could you pick up the phone and say, hi, Mike, this is Joe Shoup giving you a quick call here from Arizona. The reason I called you is that. Could you do that? Would you be able to, would you be comfortable? And most people are going to say, no, I don't know how to do that, and that's what I'm afraid of. Okay, so what do you think the next step would be? How do you think you overcome that? Anybody want to tell me that one? How would you overcome that? Next step, registration, got Tools Rock, they're in the back office, they're learning how to set it up. So I'll give you the answer. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer that one, because I believe everybody I'm looking at's already been there. So So these things should be at the tip of your tongue. You should be able to walk them, onboard them properly. In my opinion, next step. Come on, one more time. Let's see if we can get in here, guys and gals. Yep. Of course. Look who's answering again. Yes, get in this communication class. Get in there. You know, Shirley Pitts, you see, she answered it too. I was with her husband and her the other day. They lived down the street, and I was helping them do something. It's pretty convenient to be able to do that, Mark. It's interesting. I'm getting to know them more and more. They're really wonderful people. And they've been very successful business-wise in life. And it's really, you know, I was sitting, I'm not saying this for my ego, but I'm sitting there, and Rudy said to me, her husband, Joe, I've been in business. I've been all over there. They were really involved in medical stuff over the years. We had a great talk about that, about my medical company and what he did in his, and the inventions and patents. And he said to me, but I've been to these classes all over my lifetime. I have been to trainings. I've been flown to here and in city there and people teaching it. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, that class is the best class that you have there that I have ever been to in my entire life. So I was really happy and proud of that. I can't take credit for it, Mark, except for putting the class together, because all the knowledge in that class comes from, you know, people that I've learned it from over 20 years. You know, people can only go as far as they're taught. I was taught that stuff. All I did was put it together 18, 15 years ago so that people could understand the steps and figure out who they are and stop, you know, being afraid of phone calls and connecting with people. But that's the next step. If a new person should be in that class within a week, and we've made it available for them at $29 or $30 to get in it. That class was $450 initially. And people all over the country went to that class. Some companies would fly me to different locations to give that class live for 2 days. Now, of course, you get more benefit when you're live. And, you know, we have that class recorded that we can unlock and say, hey, go to the class. Here it is. It's easy. $29. Just go there. $30. You got to get in that class to understand how to effectively communicate your message and stop thinking about all the old ways that you had, which didn't work, as you know. Teaches you how to talk when you're at family events. Teaches you what not to say. So there's the steps. I know we've heard this over and over again, Mark, but I think it's a good idea. And that's why I went to, do you trust your upline? What are they telling you to do? Pick up a phone and hand somebody a message and then say, get on a three-way and spend an hour on the phone trying to convince somebody that they should belong to Karatbars and buy gold on a weekly basis? I don't think so. I don't hear anybody that tells me that works. I really don't. And people find out in the beginning they're very excited about it, and they may go there, but next thing you know, they're out. It's hard enough learning the dialogue, picking up the phone and calling 100 people and not bringing anybody into the company. It's hard enough when that happens to you. I know we have people quitting because they'll do that. They'll call 100, maybe get 200 leads, make the phone calls, been through the class. Next thing you know, they're going, it doesn't work for me. So let me make this clear. We talk about this all the time. It takes a good year to establish your business, to establish it. Not to go to work, not to find people, but to establish a routine, a process that helps you be successful. It takes a year for you to see that. You may be 6 months in this business without one recruit. If you're not doing it right, you shouldn't have it. If you get it down properly in the first month, you should be bringing people in at least one a month. Now, I know there's uplines that they sneak on this call and they cringe when they hear me say that, Mark. I know you know who I mean.
Yeah.
They cringe because they go, no, teach them to do it right away. Hurry up. Yeah, really. It took you 4 years, so what's up with you? Now you want these people to do it in 2 months? I don't think so. Teach them the right way. Teach them how to talk. Teach them how to organize their business. And teach them, more importantly, how to onboard. Teach them how to get their new people on board properly. Give them a game plan. Now, the last part of that puzzle is to, like when they say, well, okay, I've gotten that and I'm down and I've sent some messages out, some people, but who else do I talk to? Because I don't have a list of 500 people. Okay, so you have a choice. Tools Rock has a way to buy leads. Many other companies do as well. So you may have to go out there and build a list by buying a list first. I don't know. We have come across the company called Lead Skimmer, which helps us. You know, you've really got to pay attention to that Lead Skimmer. I'm going to send a notice out today, and it'll be in the back office today on how to get into Lead Skimmer. But you get Lead Skimmer is a chance for you, an opportunity for you to build a database. Some people have a database when they come, but you got to build one if you don't have one. If you only have 100 people in it, that's not enough. Unless you're lucky enough to have a couple of good people who are going to go to work in that 100, which I doubt most people have. You know, over the years, it took people 10 years. I mean, I have a pretty large database, but you're looking at 20 years of this stuff. You go through, you know, I build it through Aweber, number one. I built a list of 800 people in Aweber in a couple of years. It took that amount of time. And the reason I did, Mark, is when I created the Breakfast Club, people all came to it for various reasons. So today you have the Breakfast Club. That's what Robert just put up there. Get started. Go to the Breakfast Club. You know, and stay motivated. Listen to Mark. It's exciting. Every day, you know what he says? Fantastic and amazing. I don't care what time of day I call him. That's what he tells me. I say, hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm fantastic and amazing. It's always his answer. It's always the way he feels. And I'm getting happier and better, and I'm going to be, you know, phenomenal at the end of the day, or I'm heading towards it. You know, people are picking up that language now and saying, you know, that's how I feel. But look, you've got to have a direction you're going in here. And what we talked about this morning is a direction. Now, the part of that you need, if you're saying, yeah, but I'm not getting people to respond, well, you've got to build a database of people to talk to communicate with, and finally connect with them. That's why we're bringing Anson. He's willing to do that. One of the reasons we use Tools Rock is because I have a relationship with these owners now over the past year, and they love helping us. Anson, every Tuesday night now, we're having Anson Ashby. And whether it's going to be Facebook, which is the first part of this, or LinkedIn, it's going to show you how the mechanics, number one, the why of you should be using Facebook, and number two, the mechanics of it. How to put your pictures in, how to get your things up there. Look, some of you are familiar with it, other people aren't. And you should be there for these trainings so that you can teach your people and say, look, here's where you go to get that training to start building your database. And please give yourself a year here. You know, most businesses fail in the first year in this country, probably everywhere. Most of them, 4 out of 5, something like that, 3 out of 5, I don't know. It's pretty high, it's 80%. So not any different here. If you don't stay with it and learn and get a process, you're going to be in that same boat. You're going to be quitting and find something else. I'm not getting results. I'm not making any money, so I'm leaving. Well, there's only one way to lose here, and that's called quit. You quit. But if you don't have a plan and a process when you come in, you might as well quit. You might as well not even join. And that's why I say, Mark, this is, that I know of, the only place to come in with this kind of format and plan for people. So you should be bringing new people here all the time. I'll be honest with you, once a month you should have a new person on the Breakfast Club. Into Tools Rock, you should have a new one every month. New person in the training room, looking at videos, setting up their stuff, and letting them know. Let them hear from us that it takes a year of this education. In the meantime, you're recruiting people. You're finding, you're searching, you're looking. It's called a candidate search. Looking for candidates with the tools. So that's the first part of onboarding, and that's what we need to understand. So with that, we'll continue this. I want to remind you that tomorrow morning we have Bob Coons back. This is an excellent, excellent teacher who just went through the class this year, thanks to his sponsor and his partner in business, who went through the class and told him, you need to go here. It's one of the first things you have to do, Bob. And through that, you know, we've developed a relationship with Bob, who is a really good educator, and he's a worker, and he understands it. He's really helping with the process. We're going to talk hopefully tomorrow also about Lead Skimmer and what's available back there. Did you know in that company that you can send people like ebooks as a reward for filling something out? Well, Bob can talk about that tomorrow, hopefully. And if not, we'll have him back again to talk about it. But I know he's going to talk about some motivation tomorrow, and he's preparing for that today. And he'll be here with us tomorrow, live. And the next day, we have Anson Ashby back, and next week we'll have Jennifer back again for some more motivational stuff. And so we have many more guests coming up, so we're excited about that. We've had some people who have volunteered. They understand Facebook. They want to help us out. And so we'll have that next week as well. We'll make that announcement. So with that, you know, go to work. That's the bottom line, is understand the process of onboarding. That should help you also to tell you where you should be going. That should be your guideline as to where you're going, understanding the onboarding process. So work it through. You should be able to teach this. Maybe we'll ask one of you to come in and teach onboarding one day instead of me or Mark doing it. You can come in and do it. But if you learn it like this, I suggest and suspect that Andrea could teach that. And maybe we'll ask her. So we should do that. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Over to you, Mark, and we'll just go to work today. And you know, that's what I suggest you do. Go to work. Go find a candidate today. Go find a candidate. Spend an hour or two today going through your list, making some phone calls. And one of the things you'll be asking a prospect, whether they answered your call or their website or filled something out or not, one of the key things is, if you're calling them cold, is to find out would they be interested in a career change if the money were right. I see that you have in the past been interested in managing a business from home, but before we go any further, let me ask you, because my company is under a major expansion, we are looking for some people who are honest and ambitious. Would you, Mary, be interested in a career change if the money were right? Yes, I would be. Tell me a little bit about it. Sure, great. I'll send you some information. You pick up the dialogue, right? The reason you called, what I want you to do, make an appointment and tie it down. That's what you have to understand here. You can improvise with your dialogue, but the key thing is talking to someone. And you know what Jennifer said, Mark? Find out there once. You can find out right there. You're interested in career change and money were right? Yeah, I would be. I would be. That's something I want. Okay, great. Then we're at the initial stage then. Here's what I need to do. I'll send this over. We'll get back together. We'll see if we're on the same page. If we are, we'll take a step forward, okay? All that, you should be able to teach what we just talked about here this morning. The dialogue, it should be so easy to pick up that phone and talk to people. Once you've been through the class and you've studied it, you've learned it, you know the process, you know the steps to the phone call. We could go on another hour here, but we won't. Have a great day, everybody. Over to you, buddy.
Okay, one thing I want to leave with everybody, and then we'll close out. Joe, if you remember back when we first got started with Carrot Bars, what it was about was buying a gram of gold once a month. It was almost like a contract or whatever. Gold once a month. And then, you know, July of, you know, last year, whatever, they came up with the 12-week plan. Now, here's what I see, and I'm getting from, you know, people, is that if they can't do it every week, they feel pressured. And then that makes them frustrated, and that's what makes them quit. I can't buy a gram. If all that's in their head is, I got to buy a gram of gold every week, and they can't do that, they get frustrated, and they say, well, I can't do this anymore, so I'm going to quit. Well, guess what? That person might could buy a gram a month, one a month, bring in one person a month, and at the end of a year, it's amazing what they'll have, probably over $85,000 a year, as we say in the presentation. But it's all about thinking. And then what was put in their head is, you have to buy a gram every week, every week, every week. That's all they hear. They don't hear about communication. They don't hear about onboarding.
They're motivated. These people telling people that are motivated by money and more and more money, and it makes me sick to hear that.
Yes, that's the challenge that's there, and that's why we're here to change that. And you know, it doesn't matter what, you know, somebody up above think. It doesn't matter, because the thing is that we want you to do this for a lifetime, not just for 2 or 3 months. Why waste your time and go in business for 2 or 3 months and be frustrated and waste your time when you can do it properly, and when you first get in, do it properly, and a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, you'll still be here. And guess what you'll be doing? You'll be directing and training other people to do the same thing. And your business could be a multi-million-dollar business. That's what we're talking about. But it has to be done the right way. Has to be taught the right way. And that's why we do what we do, and we will stay on this. Don't look for change. You know, because, you know, don't look for change here anyway. But you have to embrace change, because without change, there's no progress. Embrace what we're talking about, and then we all can progress together. So with that being said...
Wait, I better give the answer to who said that about the, you know, the world's full of evil.
The guy with the squiggly hair.
Yeah, it was Albert Einstein who said that, you know.
There you are.
Albert Einstein. He always said that, actually. I've seen that many times in a quote, one of his quotes, and it was, you know, it's the people who do nothing about it that are the problem. And that's why we do something. I've always been a crusader, Mark. I've always been wanting to tell people when I saw something wrong, you know, I always wanted to fix it. And I know that's who you are. That's why we connected. It's about training and teaching and learning myself. I learn a lot of stuff here. Just coming here, either when I'm talking or hearing you or Bob or, you know, Jennifer, no matter who it is, I learn stuff all the time here. So it's important that, you know, we understand that if you do nothing, and that's why you have to teach your people. You do nothing about people not being successful, well, shame on you if you don't teach them. But you're only going to go as far as you've been taught, and we believe we're teaching the right stuff here. So we're good.
Well, I have the attitude now that if my new person fails, then I failed. I failed to do something or whatever. That's just my thinking. It doesn't necessarily have to be true, because sometimes some people don't want to do something, or they don't know what their want is. But if they have a clear, concise mental picture as to what they want, I'm here to help them to get it, and we're going to get it together, and we're going to grow together. And that's what we do here at the Breakfast Club. So, again, with that being said, peace and blessings, everyone. Go out today, make it a great day. Go out and make somebody happy. Got a great sunny day out here where I am in Virginia, and I hope it's sunny where you are. If not, create your sun. Create your sunshine. Create your happiness and your joy. And the way you do that is to help somebody else succeed, and in return, you'll succeed better. So peace and blessings with you. Go out, make it a great day, and we will see you back here with Bob Coombs tomorrow morning on the Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.
Bye.